How's it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store is running its games under $20 sale. We already looked at games under the price of $5. Time to look at games under the price of $10. We do have a couple of games on this list that are available through PlayStation Plus Extra. We will very briefly go over those at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that if you're interested. Otherwise, let's just get right into it, and let's start things off with a game that I thought was available in PlayStation Plus Extra. That's Ratchet Clank 2016. This is, of course, a ground-up remake of the very first Ratchet Clank game, and I'm kind of surprised. I mean, I'm on the store page right now, and it doesn't have it listed as a PS Plus title, which I totally thought it was. Generally speaking, all of those older PlayStation exclusives are all on PS Plus Extra, so this is one that's surprising that it is. And obviously, this game technically doesn't hold a candle to Ratchet Rift Apart, but it's still a very good game, and if you enjoy the zaniness and the platforming of Ratchet & Clank, you're going to enjoy this game quite a bit. Really accessible to just about anyone, and it's a lot of fun. Relatively easy platinum trophy if you're into that as well. Yeah, $9.99, I think that's a pretty good price. Next up, we got Burnout Paradise Remastered, 70% off for $6. It's a game that I always recommend, and man, I do have such a fond spot in my heart for this game. I remember playing it when it initially came out back in January of 2008, and right away, this game had a soundtrack that was right up my alley. I mean, you've got, like, Killswitch Engage in there, and just bands that aren't, you know, these days the most popular, but it's got a great soundtrack, and $6 for a great open-world arcade racer. It's a good deal. It does show its age for sure in certain areas, but I still think for the price point, you can't go wrong with this one. It's one that I think a lot of you guys will enjoy if you're into arcade racers. Next up, we got XCOM 2 The Collection, 90% off for $9.99. This is just a tremendous deal, given that you get the base XCOM 2 game and you get a ton of DLC, most notably the War of Chosen expansion. But on top of that, you got a couple of other DLC packs. XCOM 2 is a very challenging, it can be a very challenging tactics-based game, but it's very rewarding as well. Obviously, it's a game that's more associated with PC gaming and keyboard and mouse controls, and it's definitely better on there, but it makes a smooth enough transition to the PlayStation 4 where the game is playable, the performance isn't the best, but it's playable, and you can still have a lot of fun with it, and for $9.99, I think it's a good buy. Next up, DMC Devil May Cry Definitive Edition, 75% off for $9.99. Man, I remember when this game initially came out, there was a bit of controversy surrounding it just because it was a redone Devil May Cry, new Dante, all that stuff. However, at the end of the day, this is an action game done by Ninja Theory. What does that mean? Well, Ninja Theory is an incredibly talented studio when it comes to making high-quality action games, and they did it again with DMC Devil May Cry. If you just go into it expecting a quality action game, you're gonna find that there. The Definitive Edition has some additional DLC and whatnot, enhanced graphics, all that good stuff, but solid action game here for $9.99. I think it's a good buy. And obviously with this one, you don't have to be, you know, a longtime fan of Devil May Cry or anything like that to enjoy it. Next up, I do want to give a shout to Mega Man X Legacy Collection 1. This is 60% off for $7.99. It should be noted, Legacy Collection 2, I believe, is on sale. Yeah, Legacy Collection 1 is by far the stronger collection. This includes X1 through 4, and those are the games that people really enjoyed when it comes to Mega Man X. X5 was pretty good as well. X6 is really a mixed bag. X7 everybody just despises, and X8 is okay as well. X1 through 4 are really, really solid action platformers, though. I wish they had Maverick Hunter X in there, which was the PSP remake of X1, but thumbs the brakes. Can't have everything, but $8 for this collection I think is quite good. Next up, we got Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch Remastered, 80% off for $9.99. This is one of the more accessible JRPGs, in my opinion, to newcomers to the genre. It's a very, very engaging story and just a heartwarming story in a lot of instances. The art style has just aged tremendously well. Even though this game came out back in 2010, it's got that Studio Ghibli look going on for it, and it just still looks fantastic, and I think it's a great game to get into from that standpoint. Cast of characters is great, gameplay is solid. Level 5 is a studio that seems to be a little bit up in the air, which is such a bummer because I love their JRPGs. Even like White Knight Chronicles I thought was an alright game, but Ni no Kuni was definitely the game that I think most people enjoyed out of them, and for $9.99, this is a great pickup. Next up, Catherine Full Body Edition, 75% off for $9.99. Often recommend this. I just recommended it recently. Well, the Digital Deluxe Edition when that was on sale. But this is the base game for $9.99, which is honestly probably like a fine pickup. You don't need the Digital Deluxe Edition. It just includes some superfluous content that isn't necessary. But Catherine Full Body is a very, very good narrative-driven puzzler. It's wacky, it's zany, it's a bit over the top, but it's a pretty engaging game. It's got a great art style, great look, great cast of characters. Obviously, very much replayable with all the different routes and different endings and whatnot. And it's a game that, if you want to, like, invite your significant other over and, like, play through it together, it's pretty good in that instance. I mean, like, in the sense of, like, a Detroit Become Human style, or, like, some of those narrative-driven titles where it's fun just watching the game play out, and you can have, like, you know, I would say a significant other if you want to, like, invite all your boys over and go through Catherine. Hey, more power to you. Do that as well. 75% off for $9.99, I think, is a great pickup. Next up, BioShock The Collection, 80% off for $9.99. I mean, this is a no-brainer. I recommend this all the time when it goes down to $9.99. It's BioShock 1, BioShock Infinite, and BioShock 2. I don't know why I went in that order. Probably because that is the general accepted quality level. I'm personally a fan of BioShock Infinite more than 1. I know that's blasphemy for some people, but yeah, all 3 games are really good. BioShock 1 is excellent and really set a nice tone for the subsequent titles. BioShock Infinite had that setting shift, which I thought was great. And BioShock 2, while it is by far the weakest of the franchise, it's one of those instances where all 3 games are at a very high level, and BioShock 1 and Infinite, in my opinion, are just elite first-person shooters that, yeah, BioShock 2 quite isn't elite, but it's still pretty damn good. And, yeah, $10 for all 3 games. Great pickup here. Next up, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, 75% off for $9.99. I mean, this is another game that I constantly recommend. It's a great game, and I'm not a big Star Wars fan, but the combat in this game is excellent. The performance on PS5 is excellent. The visuals are great. Story's pretty engaging. I like Cal as a main character. Super excited for Jedi Survivor, which seems to be rumored for a release sometime in March. So now would not be a bad time to pick up Jedi Fallen Order. And I had a buddy just play through this game on the hardest difficulty, and he absolutely loved it. So, yeah, and he didn't even find the game that difficult. And some people do find the game difficult, but yeah, it's got a variety of different difficulty options, so not gonna be too big of an issue there. Alright, next up, we got Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown, 85% off for $9. Another excellent deal for a game that I want to say is a little bit underrated, but it seemed like it did pretty well from a sales standpoint. Hell, it's getting more DLC, and we're up to Ace Combat 7 at this point, so people obviously are enjoying it. It's over the top. It's such an enjoyable action flight title, and Ace Combat probably has one of the most underrated soundtracks that I think gaming has to offer. Like, nobody ever talks about, oh, Ace Combat, yeah, that soundtrack is great. You hear, you know, stuff about Final Fantasy, about X game, Y game. Ace Combat's got one of the better soundtracks that I've listened to, and this is 85% off, $9. Such a great deal. Highly recommended, and a good bit of content in this as well, so good shout here for sure. Next up, we got Okami HD, 50% off for $9.99. Remember, when you buy Okami HD, not only are you getting an excellent PS2 game remastered for PS4, but you are also fueling my desire and the chances that we will one day get a true Okami 2. Will it happen? Probably not. Nonetheless, Okami is considered by many to be one of the top 3 to 5 PlayStation 2 games of all time, and when you go back and look at the roster of PS2 games that were available, that is a gargantuan statement. Okami is just a tremendous game. You got some Zelda vibes going on, and the art style, even though this game is from like 2005, has held up really well. Great soundtrack, gameplay's good. It's an excellent game. $9.99 is a great pickup. Next up, Risk of Rain 2, 75% off for $6.24. This is another game with an excellent art style. I found this game incredibly challenging at first, to the point where I initially played this on PC, and I played it for a while, and then I was just like, yo, I'm done with it. Uninstalled it because I raged so hard, and then, like, literally 20 minutes later, I was like, nah, I could go back into it and I could do this, and then I reinstalled the game and went back right into it. It's such an addicting game. The gameplay loop is just so addictive, and again, for $6.24, it's legitimately a game you can sink an obscene amount of hours into, so I would give it a shot. Just be mindful, it is a little bit more on the challenging side. I would say that if you can get a couple friends to pick it up as well, might be worth a shout there as well. Okay, lastly, 3 games that are available through Plus Extra. Shadow of the Colossus is 50% off for $9.99, much like Okami, considered to be one of the best PlayStation 2 games of all time. And for good reason. However, on the PS2, it was really hampered because it was really ahead of its time, and unfortunately, from a technical standpoint, left a lot to be desired. This version remedies those issues, and really the definitive version of SOTC, so $9.99 for that is great. This is available on Plus Extra, but honestly, you should just buy it. Gravity Rush 2, 50% off for $9.99. Quite possibly one of the most underrated franchises gaming has ever had. I don't think that's even a stretch to say that. Gravity Rush 1 was just a fantastic game. It obviously originally came out on the PlayStation Vita. Then it got a remastered release, which, by the way, is on sale for $14.99, but Gravity Rush 2 is a better game in every area, and the gameplay is great. The art style is tremendous. The main character and Cat, just a very likable character, and there was just so much good about this game. Unfortunately, probably never get a Gravity Rush 3, but hey, you can enjoy Gravity Rush 1 and 2, and Gravity Rush 2 for $9.99 is fantastic. Lastly, South Park: The Stick of Truth, 67% off for $9.89. Another one of those games that I constantly recommend. Not a big South Park fan. Not necessarily that I have anything against it. I watched the Pandemic special and thought it was hilarious, but played through Stick of Truth when it initially came out in 2013. Hilarious game, and mechanically, fundamentally, it's a well-made RPG, so you can enjoy it from that end as well. And if you're a fan of South Park, no-brainer, absolutely worthwhile to play. Alright, that's gonna do it for me. Went through a lot of games fairly quickly, so links to everything, as always, in the description box below. That's gonna do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.